Alright, we're back with another game for PPL NX Stage 3. Apologize about the last game. I said that was the semi-finals of losers bracket. It wasn't, because we still had to face the losers of the semi-finals of winners brackets. So this is the actual semi-finals losers bracket. Sorry, I don't play double elimination tournaments very often. So this threw me off. Anyways, we're playing DashingSceptile this week because they lost on the top bracket. And yeah, this should be hopefully a fun game. They have a terrifying team, but one thing they do not have in that team is hazard removal outside of Mincino with Tidy Up. So we're gonna try to take advantage of that. They didn't bring it either. Okay, great. That is Terra Orgapon. Terra Grass, obviously. And of course they had Chiyu, Mamoswine, all these other good stuff. Yeah, no, this team is annoying. They didn't bring Whizzing, of all things. That's very interesting. Let me see something. Ogre Pawn, Cornerstone. This is a Mamoswine. If you are loaded dice with a spear. Yeah, okay. Cool. They didn't bring the ghost type either, so we're gonna try to win with this. I don't know how feasible that is, but you know, it is what it is, you know? You know. If you know, you know. So yeah, they have a pretty scary team. Manaphy is terrifying. Chiyu is unbelievably scary. We are bringing Terra Dark mostly for that, but also some other shenanigans. They didn't bring Mestrip, so I could have brought Terra Fighting, which would have been okay too. I just couldn't afford to bring Terra Water because Terra Water just wouldn't be great versus their team. Anyways, we'll see how this goes. If they leave Mamoswine, it's gonna be scary. Premium. Okay, they live with this. I'm okay with that. Technically. I could have lived with Garchomp. We're gonna see if you are some sort of air balloon though. It is air balloon. Okay. We're gonna U-turn on you then. Should always be faster than you. Probably gonna try to set up their Stealth Rock. That is fine. What is your switching to Garchomp? Yeah, okay. I mean, I would hope that they try to set up Stealth Rock. Okay, we get rid of the balloon really quick. I think we'll Garchomp and try to switch and try to swap rocks for rocks, to be honest with you. Oh, this good thing, sort of an Orgapon. Oh, that's good. That's very good. I'm okay with that. I am perfectly okay with that. I am gonna go for my rocks. My rocks are better this matchup, I think, than spikes right now. If I only get to set up one layer, I'm fully confident they are gonna go into Mr. Orgapon, and they could bring a defensive set. If it is, then that's good on them. I do have a Corviknight. Problem is we're gonna have to be doing that U-turn into, you know, U-turn into ball switch into U-turn mind game, which is annoying, but it is what it is. I'm surprised that they are thinking about this so much, but to be fair, you know, this Tinkaton is not great for anything else. Yeah, I know we draw. That's good. Severus-ish. Mamoswine. Okay, straight into Mamoswine, huh? Okay. Corviknight should be our way to deal with this, especially if we think that they are Sash Endeavor. Although if they were Sash Endeavor, I think they would have lived with that. Corviknight versus Mamoswine, like I said. If they are a choice band set, they do not kill me. I mean, at least they shouldn't. We are gonna Corviknight. If they set up their own rocks, then that's good on them. Although immediately, why would you bring rocks on this when you can bring them Tinkerton? Then again, they can do whatever they want, right? It's their game. It's their team. We are gonna go to our Corvi. Exercising our pressure. They actually withdraw, huh? Good play. Very good play. I would imagine it's Raging Ball. It is a Raging Ball. Okay, are we gonna see? Okay, it's not boots. We see that. I think I'm gonna go into you though. They could use ball switch, anticipating me not to go into the Garchomp. And if they do that, then so be it. Let's start coal mining. Okay, that's fine. Scary, but it's fine. Okay. So we always go for the toxic here. Yep. Alright. Raging Ball versus Slowking. Galar. You had the Draco. Okay, you don't have this first of all. You're +2 and you go for Draco Meteor. You shouldn't kill me. So I am gonna go for the chili and we'll see what happens from there. Just Dragon Pulse, okay, that's fine. Yeah, no, I'm okay with that. We are gonna chili out. They could very much be Shuka on this thing to try to catch my Garchomp, which I'll have to consider at this point. I could go into you and trick you into something, but I didn't have a fairy type. I didn't bring a fairy type, so I could go into you. Doesn't do much for me. I could go into you. Try to go back into you. What do I want to do? Wish I would have encouraged him into Calm Mind. We are gonna go into Garchomp. Alright, I had the feeling this is just Shuka. Garchomp. Legend Ball. If you are Shuka Berry. My Urgot doesn't do enough. Dragon Ball does too much to this for my liking right now. If I go to Corviknight, I think I'm going to Corviknight. Just gonna stall this damn thing out. Pressure, the pressure. There's the Dragon Balls. That does 50%? Wow. Yeah, okay. Well, there's zero reason for him not to just do that again, right? If I lose Corviknight, Mamoswine becomes a little scary, and so that's the thing. Maybe I should just attack. You, what do I need you for? You will take a hit here. I'm gonna need to ruse the Corviknight into something. The fact that the 50% though, that's ridiculous, dude. How much are you doing with Dragon Pulse to Slowking? Slowking Galar. 390. No, sorry. 255. So I could, in theory, leave 2. There's no reason why he doesn't just go for the move, to be honest with you. Porygon. Porygon is alright. I guess I'll go into Slowking. This thing is 100% Shuka. I may have to sack something to it. Oof, that did so much. Okay. So, honestly, this Pokemon kinda doesn't do much for me anymore. So I may just sack you and go from there. If he tries to go into something else, he's not gonna go into something else though. My Orgrimmon. That's a Horn Leech. That's good. Yeah, let's try to chill out. If you kill me, you kill me. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not too worried about this. Honestly, the Slowking was here mostly for this anyway. So that should die to Toxic. Okay, that is a decent 1-to-1 exchange in my opinion. Problem is he could go Mamoswine here or Chi-Yu. If he goes Chi-Yu, that's actually annoying. If he goes Mamoswine, I actually don't have very good switches to it. I'm gonna go Asuka actually. And we'll see what they go into. CB2 is the Orgrimmon, okay. So they're heavy duty boots on this thing. That's good to know. Yeah, okay. This could be annoying. I think I just U-turn on you. If you Source Dance, then you Source Dance, I guess. Yeah, let's just go for the U-turn. Should be super effective damage. Okay, they do Terra this damn thing. Which is gonna do a good chunk, depending on what they go for. If the Source Dance is annoying, but you know, we'll just have to deal with it, I guess. Yep. They are gonna U-turn too. Okay. That did so much. Does that put me on Aisha Rage? Orgrimmon. Cornerstone versus Mamoswine. Okay, that's fine. Ice Shark. Yeah, I am on Aisha range at this point, but that is okay. I can go into you, and actually that did so much that another Orgrimmon. I know what that Orgrimmon is. This is not gonna do much right now. I have to go to you. I understand he can go to you and ruin my day. That is just what it is. I have to get some health back on you. If it says that his hazards, he says his hazards. The Orgrimmon being what it is annoying, but you know, it's not the end of the world. You could just try to switch out, so I could just U-turn on you. If you knock off, then I mean, I guess that's okay. I'm gonna try to go for it. There are the rocks. Yep. Okay. Yeah, no, that was expected. Problem is if I ruse, he can just anchor me into ruse, and that becomes annoying. Okay, let me see. This Orgrimmon. If you are that versus my Garchomp. If you Terra, you Kojo wouldn't kill me actually, which is a little bit funny. We are gonna go into Orkisame. That Orgrimmon is gonna be annoying, isn't it? We can already tell. We can already tell. I do think that he's gonna go into Orgrimmon again. Could go into Mamoswine, I suppose. I'm just gonna hard back into the bird. Try to anticipate this. I just don't want to lose Garchomp just yet. Right. Pressure. Should switch up faster than you. Yep. Let's go into Orgrimmon, please. Severus. He went to Mamoswine. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I don't know if I take the hit here, to be honest with you. Why didn't my lefties activate? Did I lose my lefties? When did I lose my lefties? Who knocked off my lefties? I don't remember this, but I got Roost. Yeah, he's just gonna crash. Go kill. He doesn't kill. Thank God we fucking got the Roost off. Okay. Alright, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. It does pretty little too. That's good to know. So they could try to go Chi Yu here, which is a consideration we need to have. So I guess we try to U-turn. He goes for the attack. He goes for the attack. You know, it is what it is. This is going to be a game, man. This is going to be a game. Yep. Okay, let's go into Chi Yu, please. Stina. That is Manafi. Yeah, okay. This is an Orgapong always. Is it an Orgapong? Yeah, it is. Fortunately, I don't get a lot of health back from Kojo, but that is okay, I guess. Yeah, and little by little, we're just wasting away. I'm gonna try to go for the Horn Leech. I don't think this is Scar Manafi. It's not. Yep. Maybe I should have called this. Premium. What is a premium? Oh, yes, this thing. Alright, well, little by little is getting cheap, I guess. Super defensive, dude. Super defensive. And super annoying. Oh, he took my leftovers for Corviknight. Son of a bitch. That is annoying. I'm gonna U-turn out on it. Yep. Chiyu coming in tells me that it's probably no boots. I could go to you. No, I don't want to get Thunder Wave. Randomly Thunder Wave. Yep. Yep. There's the Thunder Wave. Okay, do I want to go for the attack here is the question. What would you go for? Or do I want to go for the spikes? This is becoming very much a game of switching in and switching out. How much is the flamethrower doing to this? If he goes into Orgapong, my flamethrower is doing no damage at all. If he goes into Mamoswine, you know, my life is just pain. I don't think you're staying. There is also a Manafi that you could try to go into. I could just set up the spikes, but I kind of want to get rid of my own things. If he goes Mamoswine, I have to go into you, try to take 2 hits. It's annoying. I'm gonna set up a spike. I may regret this. CVDO is Yorkon. Okay. Alright. So Orgapong, we know his heavy duty boots versus my Garchomp. It does 55%, which I can, in theory, take. And then after that, I will go to you, and he would just U-turn out into Chi Yu, and then what the fudge do I do? Probably suck you. Which is not the worst, I suppose. I guess we go for it. Ah, he's gonna set up his own spikes too. That's hilarious. Yeah. Okay. So it's gonna be a game of spikes, I suppose. The problem is I don't have boots. He does. Let's go to Overhaul. I may need to defog. may need to defog. What do I need to get rid of? If I can get rid of Chiyu, Garganako could win. Just gotta make sure that he doesn't lock into a certain move. We'll see, we'll see. We are gonna withdraw and go into our Corviknight, as they are going to probably just spike up, to be honest. Yep. I guess that's fine. I think that here we either want to roost or we want to... If I think that I'm going to roost because I think he's going to set up their layer spikes. No, he actually is going to go to whatever he goes into. He goes Chiyu, he goes Chiyu. Premium is actually the Tinkaton. Perfect. Okay. That works for me. Little by little is taking damage. Problem is he could attack. We have seen Thunder Wave on you. We have seen Knockoff. We have seen Stealth Rock. I do not know what your last move is. If it is a move that kills me, it is a move that kills me. Now this is definitely gonna be a rough end game with so many layers of hazards. Yep. Yep. There's D-Wave. Yep. Right. You have two layer spikes and whatnot. I'm gonna go for the flamethrower here. That's not gonna kill the... That's actually not awful though. What are you gonna do? Knock off? You're just gonna kill yourself at this point. Yep. Right. So if you're gonna let me get this... I had two layer spikes on my side. On his side, two layer spikes. I mean, I guess I'll spike up. If you're just trying to die, obviously. Knock off. That's fine. Alright, Tinkaton is gone, which is good for Garganako. Should just go Orgapon here. CB do his Orgapon. If he Kochos, that's fine. I mean, Garchomp is not gonna come in on two layer spikes and Stealth Rocks. I do think he's gonna Kojo, but he could try to U-turn. If he U-turns, it could be annoying. So I guess we're gonna try to go Corviknight and predict him. Could also try to set up his last layer spike, which actually was a very forward play. I should have thought about it. Yeah. What are we gonna do? We got some pressure going on. Just Koyos. Okay. Alright, so this is when it becomes an interesting question. Are we gonna stay in, take the hit? Are we gonna switch out? You had to switch out. You can't stay in. You will lose a lot of health for no reason. I don't know that I leave it with you, to be honest with you, but at this point you two are sacks. So let's go ahead and U-turn, I guess. He is gonna U-turn as well. Perfect. Okay. Mamoswine, I will suppose. Is always the play. If it goes Mamoswine, I just go Porygon. Oh, we're going to you. Okay. Okay. I mean, that did a good chunk. The hazards, I mean. Let me see. Orgapong. Cornerstone. 25% will be 80. So you're above that. And then Stealth Rocks does how much? So I may leave it 25. Spikes do 25%, right? I got 30 seconds. Come on. 1/4 of the maximum. So it's 25%. So I may leave Stealth Rocks. I think I leave it. I am hitting 133 here, which means I am 25. I think I might just be in range to leave. I really hope so. That is the rocks. That is the spike. We do leave. That is fantastic. We don't leave another switch, but that is fine. We are gonna go for the Horlinch to get a little bit of health back at least. If he goes Orgapon, that's perfectly fine. But if he doesn't switching into thing. And at this point, I have to decide whether I want to remove my own hazards or not, because they don't switch into them either. Yep. You just get a little bit of help with the Hornlich, which is good. If he goes Mamoswine, that's gonna be interesting. Because Mamoswine, he has to Ice Shard. If he goes Chi-Yu, I know he's Scarf. Sibiru is just this. Right? So what I can do here is I can go to you if he... No, I can go to you, probably sacks you. But it gives me a free switch into this and either a U-turn or a thing. So I'm gonna sack Garchomp here and prevent him from U-turning. Orgapong is just a sack at this point. But that is fine. Take that. I don't think we'll leave it. Oh, we actually do. We want HP. And we get to get the Rocky Helmet damage. That's good. I won't complain about that. And it shows me the momentum, which is fine. I will imagine he goes Chi-Yu here. Saberus. No, he actually goes Mamoswine. Okay. Yeah. Cool. He takes a lot of damage. We go Overhaul here. Right? Yep. We got a Ruse here, right? He goes Chi-Yu, he goes Chi-Yu. I got a Ruse. I need this for the Orgapon. I'm just gonna crash. 247, 146. Of course I flinch. Oh my god, dude. Okay. Okay, man. Okay. That is fine. I wish I was scared with this. It wouldn't make a lick of a difference, to be honest. Yeah, I am in a lot of danger now versus the thing. I should have gone to this, to be honest with you. I'm just gonna try attack. I'm pretty sure I lose now. He got what he needed, which was what he needed, I guess. So I don't think I win this now. That fucking Secret Crush is 90% accurate too, dude. Yeah, I don't ever leave a cudgel from this. There's no way I leave it. Yep, I'm just gonna try attack. Porygon, I love you, but I don't think you leave this hit. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, man. So this thing spikes, his U-turn, his cudgel. I haven't seen his last move. I have not seen his last move. Whatever it is what it is. How much is he doing to my Garganacle here? GG's, man. That's what it has to take for him to beat me. 100. Yeah, no, dude. That is upsetting. I'm pretty sure I have this game if my Corviknight doesn't die for nothing like that. Orgapon. If I Terra Dark, he's still doing fucking 50%, dude. But he can just crit me. I mean, if he crit me with a move that is no high critical hit, imagine. Bad play on my end. I should have gone Porygon and got rid of that. That was bad play on my end too. Oh, he actually does so much with that. Okay, I guess. I don't think I win this still. What the hell is that evolves? Okay, well, could be Specs. If he's Specs, that's worst case scenario. If he's Scarf, that's really good. I don't think it's Scarf, or I don't think it's Scarf at this point. I think he's just gonna be Specs. But you know, we're about to find out, I guess. I would love to see some leftovers on his side. But yeah, we gotta recover. Yeah, that's what I didn't want him to. Ah, that's Specs. That's spec damage. Yeah, man. Takes a lot of skill to fucking crit and flinch. Yep. No, I can't win this game anymore. Yeah, Orgapong is the only thing I have alive. I can't win, dude. Had to be this. Yeah. Dude, like I said, it takes a lot of skill to fucking just click the move and get the belt out. Because if we have Corviknight still, I can sack things, and ultimately, if we end up on this situation, it is what it is. I just can't win this. GG's, man. It takes, like I said, it takes a lot of skill to crit flinch your opponent, but, you know. Alright, hello everybody, hello. Sorry about that little bit of crash out at the end there. I was clearly salty as hell for getting flinch. No, you know, all but love by DashingSceptile. He is a great guy. He did the plays that he needed to make. Immediately, on hindsight, I should have never risked the Corviknight. I still think that it is an okay play because I can try to roost back damage to heal, so I can take better hits versus the Orgapon later on, especially if he has taunt. I really don't know if he does. But in any case, I should have always gone to Porygon C because I knew I was faster than a non-Scarf Mamoswine, which we knew that it wasn't. Go ahead, just killed it. I just got tilted. You know, at the end, it is what it is, right? But anyways, so yeah, that being said, GG's to Dashin. We're here quickly, hopefully, to do a quick overview of the entire PPL NX, because this was a massive league. You know, it started, I believe, at the beginning of the year, and it lasted all the way down to, I believe, when did we play that game versus Sceptile last? Let me double check real quick. Our very last game was Dashill, did you post the results? That's stage 1, no. Our very last game was on July 6th. So you can see, that's massive. I was in 2 different countries where this whole thing went down. I was working on Italy at the beginning of the year for 2 months, and scheduling was lovely. Unless you were European, which, to be fair, there's a good amount of Europeans. But anyways, yeah, huge league. Shout out to Amber for making this experiment. I know it must have not been easy. With this many coaches, this big of a commitment, I think it went well. But yeah, we're here for a quick recap of how our whole thing went, because you know, can't really put everything on one video. So without any further ado, let's take a look at PPL Stage 1 for us. The team that we drafted was Cyclizar as our tier 1, and you may say, why did you do that? Because Sceptile was allowed in this league. So yeah, whenever something broken is allowed, I will draft it. Spoiler alert. So yeah, we drafted Cyclizar first, and the idea was, well, since we're gonna have Cyclizar, maybe we can draft a bunch of sweepers and try to win like that, right? It's also of note that there was no Terra at all on this stage, so you know, we thought that, you know, some things could be better without Terra. Some sweepers could be better because, you know, you couldn't Terra out of opponents couldn't Terra into weaknesses for them. So anyways, we drafted Iron Crown, pretty close to losing to it on LET finals, and it was alright, it was good, but this thing is so much better with Terra. I lost to it with Terra in finals of LET. But yeah, it was okay. It sucks to have a steel type that doesn't let rocks, but you know, that is what it is, right? Next up, we drafted DPD again. I just wanted to try it, I guess. I wanted, you know, a fairy and a poison, so we ended up drafting that covers both things. It's a good pivot to super especially defensive, so good one. We did draft a Blaziken because at this point I think we were running out of any kind of offense. So Blaziken behind a sub seems scary, right? Especially because this is Speed Wool Blaziken. But under that note, we also drafted Manaphy to kind of like the same thing, right? I figure people wouldn't be able to run checks for both Blaziken and Manaphy every week. Didn't necessarily work out like that, but you know, it is what it is. And talking about drafting things that don't that need Terra to be better, we drafted Zarud. I just needed a dark type, and I needed the speed here, so Zarud fit both ends, and I ended up getting it. We also drafted Kilowattrol because again I needed speed here, and you know, it's a solid one. Also needs Terra. I think that's the theme of this entire draft, to be honest. I did draft Frostless and Gligar as my next two because they are low tier spikers, and Gligar does get Stealth Rock. If I'm gonna draft something like breakers or sweepers, then you know, you should probably have hazards. On that note, I did draft their Smeagol because same reason. I just wanted access to sticky webs. There's no iron claws on this thing, so you know, but maybe it forces prep. In any case, the thing about stage 1 and stage 2 is that they were 5 seasons long, 5 weeks long each one, and then after that, actually, all the coaches were into a playoffs brackets, but you will get placed either into the gold, silver, or I think bronze bracket, depending on where do you end at. If you end out on the top, obviously you will be gold. If you end out on the middle, you will be silver, and if you end out on the bottom, you will be bronze. As you can see, our first 4 games didn't go well, didn't go great. We did lose 3 of them, and we only won 2 of them. So that was pretty bad. The only saving grace is that our differential was pretty good. I believe our differential was only -1 because we won pretty big, and then we lost not so big on 2 of those games versus Volume and Lars. Then Arc just saw us with a freaking Slowking, which is annoying, but it is what it is. Anyways, we ended up getting placed on the bronze bracket, which is you know, a real hit for my ego, but it is what it is. And ultimately, we lost on the first round of the bracket to Nutcrackers and its Sun team. Just to cap a great stage, we ended up losing 1-0 on the very last turn. I had a full health Manaphy versus a Sandy Shocks, not in the Sun. Sandy Shocks had a little bit of damage on it. I Skull would have killed it. Thunderbolt should have never killed me, but he crit me. And you know, that's how our overall stage 1 ended. Real crappy, but it is what it is, you know. Like I say, it's kind of like a theme. This stage was really rough for us, but you know, we survived and we made it. But given that we ended up on the very bottom bracket and we lost in the very first round of playoffs, it wasn't very good. It wasn't looking very good for us for stage 3. Stage 3, since I haven't explained, is essentially after stage 1 and stage 2 are completed, the overall records for both stages get put together. I think there is also some bonuses for playoffs results or brackets results. The overall top 16 coaches on the entire thing go into a bracket, which will be called stage 3, which is a double elimination bracket, by the way. So both losers and winners bracket. So fun stuff, man. Amber really decided I wanted to make us play all freaking day. So yeah. Anyways, wasn't looking very good for us. You know, after our stage 1. But you know, we decided to come back, try to have fun. A lot of people drop, I think, at this stage, which sucks. I get it though. Whenever I'm losing a league, I feel like I want to just drop and leave. But that is also not cool, right? In my opinion, because you know, somebody has to lose on those leagues, right? So yeah. Anyways, looking at the final, taking one last look at the final standings. Apparently, our MVP of stage 1 was Kilowattrol. I can tell you didn't feel like that. I really couldn't tell you who the MVP was, in my opinion, because Kilowattrol and Iron Crown, they both felt underwhelming. But honestly, everything on this team felt underwhelming at the end of the day. Nothing really performed the way I wanted to perform. So yeah, good job, Kilowattrol. Congratulations. But yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at stage 2 real quick. Yes, okay. So stage 2. This stage was also interesting in the sense that number 1, a few very controversial Pokemon were allowed, including Samacenta Crown. And also, pretty much everything from the top tiers couldn't Terra, but everything from the lower tier, mid to lower tiers could Terra. The only rule is that you will have to choose 2 of those Pokemon, and you will have to tell your opponent what their Terra types were. And only those 2 Pokemon will be allowed to Terastallize during the game. So the team that we drafted included Samacenta Crown very first, which, like I said, if anybody allows a broken Pokemon, I will draft it, if I can. So we ended up drafting Samacenta Crown, extremely excited because I never drafted this Pokemon before. Have faced it a few times and it's terrifying to prep for. We did draft Greninja because I just wanted to use it. I had never used it on Gen 9, so I wanted to see how good it was. And spoiler alert, it ended up being very, very good. We grabbed Latios just because I read that Samacenta goes well with Latios and Latias. I prefer the more offensive style Latios. At the same time, by the time that it came back to me, and Amorous was still on the board, and that's just ridiculous, so I just grab it. And after that, I just grab Donphan for spinning, Cerulege for spin blocking, because I do have access to rocks and spikes and toxic spikes on this team. I ended up grabbing Shaming because it seemed like a good idea in principle with Terra. Ultimately, as you can see, it didn't come to a single game all season. So, shame. First time ever driving Shaming and still haven't used it. I did end up grabbing Vaporeon, which ended up being an integral piece of this team. What a great Pokemon. I believe it's the Pokemon that Terra the most in my entire season. So, yeah, great Vaporeon. Also, I want to Wish for Samacenta because that thing gets no recovery right other than rest. So I ended up working out relatively well. I did end up grabbing Galarian Whizzing because I actually wanted regular Whizzing, but somebody grabbed it right before me. So I had the points, I grabbed Whizzing and screw it. And the last Pokemon we grab is Electabuzz, just so people try not to spam flying time moves versus me. This thing is relatively bulky with Eviolite, and statics can be annoying. But even with an Electabuzz on my team, people were still spamming flying time moves versus me. Imagine that. In any case, let's take a look at how we did during this one. So yeah, spoiler alert, we did pretty well. We actually, on our first 5 games, we only lost 1 game versus the Rude, which was unfortunate, but we won every other game, all the other games, versus Twisted, Pop, Gookie, and DashingSceptile. All very solid games. Samacenta didn't die in a single one of those games, just so you know. So yeah, because we ended up doing relatively well, we ended up getting placed on the gold bracket, which is the top bracket, which is great. A little bit better for our own ego, I guess. First round was a rematch versus Lars, a rematch from stage 1, I guess, as I say. He had the only game that I lost during the first first stage, the first 5 games was versus Shining Sky, and guess what? Lars had a Shining Sky, so great. But the good thing is that we learned from our game versus the Rooted as to what will be working. The stuff that we won versus the Rooted wasn't very good for Sky, but I learned what could be good for it, and we ended up bringing it, and we beat Lars 2-0 that game, which was great for us. So good job, me. So that sent us to quarterfinals of the gold bracket, and we ended up facing Travis State. This game, I remember being a little bit haxy, but we did manage to get a 2-0 victory. Not much to say. I know that Travis State wasn't very happy about it. I think something about some rolls and whatnot. Oh yeah, I know. This is the game where he had Tornado Styrian, and he brought specs on this. And I think that if he didn't miss a specs Hurricane or Blinkwick, I don't remember, versus Malarios, he would have won that game. But he missed it at the end, and he ended up losing. Well, it is what it is. Like I said, people just love spamming flying time moves versus me on this with this freaking team. But yeah, so that put us in semifinals versus good old A12, which, as you know, is an extremely good player. And it was a very, very good game, very back and forth. He ended up coming up to a 50-50 versus a freaking Scar Magneton. But they ended up beating us 1-0 with with a team that I mean, if you want to go watch the game, it is posted on my channel, but it was just... Alomomola was incredibly annoying. Terra Bog Alomomola versus my Samacenta Crown. Samacenta Crown doesn't do anything to a Terra Bog Alomomola, even a 6+ Iron Defenses, which is stupid. But yeah, I tuned Oblivion a little bit on that, but we make some good plays, and we ended up, the game was extremely close. At some point it looked like I was gonna win, but then, he pulled it back, because you should never underestimate a player like A12. But anyways, yeah, we did very good on this game, on this stage. If I made it to finals or won this bracket, we actually would have been top 4 overall on the final standings, but we didn't. So I ended up being, I think, I don't know, maybe like 6, 7. I don't remember what it was. But I ended up making stage 3, which is fantastic, as you saw in the game that you just watched. Unfortunately, I did end up getting stuck on the middle of the bracket to be able to draft. So this is the team that I ended up drafting. Okay, so I ended up drafting this team. And I love Garchomp. Garchomp is a great Pokemon. But I don't know if you should consider it to be a round 1. I just ended up drafting, at the end of the day, I ended up drafting a lot of conform bonds in Garchomp, Slowking, Corviknight. I just love how they play. Weavile mostly for offense, because I was lacking Sumail because I needed a fairy, and I guess with all the pivots, with Slowking and Corviknight, I figured out Sumail could be a good breaker. Orgapon C, just to make it a Terra captain. This stage did have Terra captains. You can only pick, I think, 2 or 3 depending on points, and I did end up picking Orgapon C. My initial strategy was to draft Orgapon C and Skeledirge, make them both Terra captains, and then my opponent figure out who is gonna Terra. Unfortunately, right before he got to me, Lars decided to snipe Skeledirge, and he didn't even make it a Terra captain. So I ended up grabbing Garganacl. I made it my secondary Terra captain. It's not a great Pokemon, in my opinion, when you know it's coming, but it actually ended up doing very well during the thing. We could have done better on semifinals of the game that we lost, but I ended up going against my gut. I really wanted to bring Terra Dragon to check a Chi-Yu, but I ended up didn't doing it, and it cost me the game partially. I did draft Porygon C, same theory as, hey, if you're drafting pivots, draft, a strong breaker, although Porygon C is not the strongest. It is strong, but it's not fast, and that's bad. I did pick up Beakable to try to get Sticky Webs. Did I pick up Beakable? That may be wrong. I don't remember. Maybe. I did pick up Tauros Paldean Fire. I always wanted to use it. I think it figured well. It needed the speed tier, I guess. I ended up bringing it to exactly one game, but it was perfect for that game, dude. That was the Mirror Earth Annihilate Defiant game. That somebody did that to me a long time ago, and I'm glad I was able to make it, to do it somebody else. And I did end up dropping Diglett and Crocodile at the very end because why not, right? Anyways, you know, we did face Lars on the first round, and he did beat us because he's Lars. Honestly, he had like the best fucking matchup versus me. I didn't know how to win that game, and I didn't not win it. So you know, he destroyed us 5-0. So you know, sending us to the losers bracket, and I was ready to be out right then and then, but on our first game in the losers bracket versus Elf O's, we actually ended up reverse sweeping him with Terra Orgapon with Trailblaze Swords Dance, which was so hype. I just wish it could have been on Wi-Fi, but we disconnected and we had to finish the game on Showdown. And that, I guess, brought a little bit back of inspiration to us for the rest of the season. So we ended up facing Harry on the very next round of the losers bracket, and this game was perfection for me. I just brought everything I needed to bring. This is the game where, you know, Paldean Tauros just stole the Defiant boost that Annihilate gets with the Mirror Earth. It was just great. It was just absolutely great prep. And I thought it would be it by then. Next thing it was versus Trabesta. He had Terra Necrozma, which is incredibly scary. If you've seen me on WPF face that team twice, I was pretty sure I was gonna lose to that, but my one saving grace was that he seemed to love the Terra Psychic set, Calm Mind Terra Psychic, so I ended up taking a bet that he was gonna bring that because, you know, look at my team, I don't, you know, outside of Weavile, I don't really have anything that takes 2 hits too well from it, except I do have a Garganacle. We brought Terra Dark Garganacle, even with Terra Blast to make sure to break subs, which guess what, he did have. So yeah, I guess I learned from again with Lars at the beginning of the season that people are gonna run cover clock on Crab and try to set up a sub instead in front of Garganacle. So I think both Harry and Travestai tried to do that to me. And it didn't work. For both of them, Harry, I ran Terra Ghost, I don't remember for what, and Travesta, I ran Terra Dark, and it ended up working great. Terra Ghost for the Annihilate, yes, that's what it is. Terra Ghost for the Annihilate with Terra Blast to make sure that he couldn't set up a sub, or, you know, whatnot. So that went great. We ended up actually beating him 4-0. So we came with a lot of momentum to the loser semifinals game, I think. And where we were facing DashingSceptile. He does have a Chi-Yu and a Terra Orgapon Teal. You know, but as you saw, I think I played well. It was a very interesting game. We ended up both with Stealth Rocks and 3-layer spikes on both sides. So, you know, that was gonna be a close end game. I do think that I could have won that game, have my Corviknight, you know, got him flinch and crit in 2 consecutive turns by the Mamoswine, but you know, it is what it is. I should have played better. I should have gone Porygon and just killed that Mamoswine. But it is what it is, you know. We ended up losing, but you know, semifinals of loser brackets means we ended up on the top 6 for the entire thing, which, hey, I'm happy with that. It was like 64, 48 coaches, I don't remember how many. We ended up top 6. We'll take that. We'll be happy with that. Thank you to Amber and all their mods for inviting me in the first place for this. I'm not really a big name, as you know, but you know, I do think that I did put on a good showing. I wish I would have done better on stage 1, but at the end of the day, all that mattered was making it to stage 3 and try to do it. Funnily enough, have I beating Sceptile, I would have had to play A12 the next round, which is great, right? And if I somehow, some way, which spoiler alert, he won the entire thing from the losers bracket, which is impressive. But immediately, for some reason, this bracket didn't have reset bracket, which is odd. It's an off decision, but it's not my call. Have I known that, I would have been looking more forward to it. But you know, the moment I lost and the moment I was sent to losers bracket, I was like, I don't want to have to do a double finals if I make it. But in any case, and if I somehow miraculously beat A12, I would have had to face Lars the game right before the grand finals, and I wasn't winning that game. You don't understand. I'm not gonna bother recording the matchup here, but his draft was completely. First of all, it was nuts. He had Palafin, Darkrai, Larias. It was just nuts, and he have such an unbeatable matchup for me that it was gonna be a waste of my time. So, you know. Anyways, yeah, this was fun. I think that Amber implied that there might be another PPL NX season. Obviously, will be next year, maybe on Champions. Who knows? All I know is that I had fun. It was a little bit frustrating at times, but we pulled through. We showed up. We did a good job. If we are invited again, if there's another season, we're invited again, we'll try to do better. But I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I am ashamed for getting a top 6 on this massive of a league. So congratulations to all your coaches. Congratulations to A12 for winning. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you for following the game, watching the games of the season. And yeah, we'll see you on whatever next league we're playing on. Bye now.